Good morning everyone. In this video, I am trying to explain an experiment of fluid mechanics lab, that is calibration of V-notch. So due to lockdown, we are not having our regular labs. So we'll conduct this experiment on virtual lab, but before that I thought I'll explain the basics behind this experiment. So experiment is about calibration of V-notch. Notches are nothing but flow measuring devices in open channel. So notches or wears are the flow measuring device for open channel flow, whereas rotameter, venturimeter, orifice meter that we have already used to measure the flow rate in closed pipes. So that is the difference between these flow measuring devices. Now coming to notches and wears, there is one difference between both of them. Notch is generally made of a metallic plate, whereas weir is a masonry structure. Both are nothing but an opening in the channel, and they are used to obstruct the flow, and then through that particular opening we will be measuring the flow rate. Now depending on the shape, we have different types of notches. For example, we have V-shaped notch here, or a triangular notch also we call it, and then we have something like this, that is a rectangular notch. We have trapezoidal notches. So they are nothing but opening that is given in a channel, and also this opening is given in such a way that the fluid that is flowing, so the water level is always below the top edge of the notch. Whereas if you remember an orifice, water flows through the entire area of this orifice. But for a notch, it will not touch the top edge of the notch. So this is one point. And then one another difference is between notch and weir is, notches are basically used to measure the discharge where it is low. So to measure the low discharges accurately, we use notch. To measure high discharges, we use weir. So in this video, I'll tell you how are we going to measure the discharge through V-notch, and then we'll calibrate it, which is nothing but we'll try to find out how accurate it is to the actual value by the help of coefficient of discharge. So here, one more thing that I mentioned, these devices are used to measure the discharge in open channel flow. So open channel flow and pipe flow, one difference is there. In open channel flow, fluid is always subjected to atmospheric pressure, whereas in pipe flow, it is under pressure. Whereas in open channel, it is subjected to the atmosphere. So example of open channel flow is canal or flow through a stream. So in that cases, whenever we have to measure the discharge, we use this notches. So they find an application there. Now here, if you see, the bed level of this notch is called as crest, whereas the height of water above this crest is called, suppose I denote it here by capital H, this is head over the crest. Now the sheet of water, these are some terminologies associated with the notches. So the sheet of water which is flowing over this notch, this sheet is called nappy. So now we will see how do we measure the discharge through this through this V-notch, So suppose we have a V-notch here of angle theta. Why V-notch here? Basically, among all the shapes, V-notch is the easiest one and it is the most accurate one. So we use that in more practice. So here the theta is the angle between the notch. I have kept this metallic plate. If you try to understand, I have kept this metallic plate as an obstruction to my flow in a tank or in a channel. Now water will flow only through this area. So again the principle remains same. The area of cross section, the cross section area and the velocity will give you the discharge. So here I am assuming this height as capital H. I take a small strip of DH width and at H height below the top surface. So if I try to draw it here, again remember the water level is always below the top edge. So I have taken at an H depth a strip of dh thickness. Theta is the angle. If I draw the axis, this is my theta by 2. That is the angle of the notch. And the total height is capital H above the crest. This is the crest. So again, if I want to find the discharge or the elementary discharge through this elementary width or elementary area, so what will be my discharge? I denote it as by dq. So dq is the discharge flowing through this elementary area. So it will be velocity through this elementary area into the area of this strip. So again we know discharge is nothing but cross-sectional area into velocity of the fluid flowing through that area. So again here if I see what will be my velocity, the potential energy of this water is being converted into the kinetic energy. So if I equate mgh is equals to mv square, I'll get the velocity at h height below. I'll get it as 2gh. So I'll substitute it. And then what will be my area? So area will be, this is an elementary strip. Now considering this theta angle to be very small, I can approximate it as a rectangle of height dh and width, let's say 2b. Now how will I find this 2b? If you think of it, so at h height below, this height I'll get as h minus h. So in this what I'm trying to say is I want to know this width. So for that, this theta by 2 is the angle. This is h minus h. By using the right angle triangle, I can get it as, I can get this width as h minus h into tan theta by 2. Why? Because tan theta by 2 will be this by this. This is h minus h. Capital H is the height above the crest. H is the height at which I am taking this strip. So I'll get the area as, now this is a rectangle, so I'll do 2 into this width. I'll get h minus h tan theta by 2. Multiplying it with the velocity, so my dA will become as root 2gh into 2h minus h tan theta by 2. So I can write my elementary discharge as velocity into my elementary area. So if I want to integrate it over, if I want to know the total discharge, I have to integrate this height h from 0 to capital H. So I'll get the total discharge by integrating it from 0 to capital H, root 2gh 2 into h minus h tan theta by 2. So only small h is the variable here. So after integrating, I'll get it as, so I'll get the discharge as 8 by 15 tan theta by 2 into root 2g into h to the power 5 by 2. So this discharge which I am getting is the theoretical discharge. Now in the lab what we'll do is, first we'll measure by this theoretical discharge. This theta we already know because the notch is made of the material. That metal, what is the angle that I have designed that notch? So I know the angle between that two plates. So what I mean to say is this theta angle is known to me. So it is also there. Then root 2g and 8 by 15 will be constant. Now the only thing that I have to measure is the head above this notch or head of the water above this crest. Now please note, in the lab, in that setup, we measure this head when the flow is steady. So we allow the water to flow for some time, and then when it becomes steady, we'll measure the head, so that we'll get a constant value. And also one important thing to be noted is we'll never measure head just near to the notch, because at that portion the surface area will be decreasing, because the surface area will be curved over this notch. If you see here, this area is curved. What I mean to say is I'll not measure the head here. I'll measure the head somewhere around 4 times this distance. I'll measure the head somewhere here because that surface is curved after this. So that thing that I should make sure that the head is measured at a certain distance away from the notch. So that we'll measure and we'll get the theoretical discharge. Now actual discharge, how will we get? This water is allowed to flow to a collecting tank of which dimensions are already known. So again you will see how much time it is taking for 10 centimeter rise in this tank. So the volume of water that is collected in 10 seconds, that you know, some V, say V liters. So that is by actual discharge. How much volume of water is collected in 10 seconds, that will be my actual discharge. I'll compare this actual discharge and theoretical discharge. I will get my CD value or the coefficient of discharge. So that will be your calibration of V notch. The more closer the value to actual, the better it is. So actual and theoretical should be as close as possible. Now this whole basics for the V notch, and then there is one more video in which I would like to show with the help of some pictures so that it will be more clear to you that how flow is happening over the V notch or over the triangular notch or weir, and then it will give a better feel for you. So I hope you guys understood the concept behind this discharge measurement. The advantage of using the V notch is it gives you accurate discharge when it comes to measuring of low discharges. So accurately, whenever we have to measure low discharges, we make use of V notch. Only one reading that you have to take is head over the sill and the actual discharge that you are measuring, so that you can compare both the discharges. I hope this video was useful for you. Along with this video, there will be another video on V notch in which I'll try to explain this with the help of some pictures. So thank you so much.